So this week's controversial topic is going to be Bradley Manning. I'm sure you've heard of him. In case you haven't, he gets called many neat little things like a traitor, a whistleblower, and even a tranny fag. Yes, let's do this. Bradley Manning, for those of you who don't know, is a former Army intel analyst, a POC, a private first class, who got busted for giving over 470,000 classified documents to the website WikiLeaks, which it published most of them. It gave away interesting things like that whole collateral murder video, demarches from different embassies, all sorts of stuff. He just took it all and gave it away. He got all of it by going into his workspace with a disc labeled Lady Gaga, put it in his computer, lip sync along with the songs, took it out, turned them in online. Turned him over to a hacker who actually turned him in. The documents were released. Bradley Manning got in trouble. He was then charged with 21 separate counts, including the most outrageous and honestly the hardest one to prove, of aiding the enemy. Earlier this week, he was found not guilty on the most serious of the charges, the aiding of the enemy, but he was found guilty of 19 others. Back in February, he pled guilty to a few of them and was given time served for part of it. One of the most common and reoccurring themes about the whole dissemination of information that Bradley Manning did was that it was going to put U.S. lives in danger or was going to get U.S. service members abroad killed. The reality is that it did not happen at all. In fact, the commanding officer in charge of the investigation, a brigadier general named Carr, actually said it did not happen. There was one claim that one of the informants that they talked with had his name found in the documents and was later killed. But when it was investigated, they found no such evidence of the sort that anybody had been murdered or killed. The reality is, Bradley Manning just embarrassed the U.S., and this is an easy rallying cry to say it's going to put troops in danger, or what about terrorists, or what about, think of the children, No, the reality is it's not how it actually goes at all. He didn't put anybody's lives in danger. He just embarrassed the U.S. Before Bradley Manning was deployed to Iraq, a lot of people in his actual unit were talking about how unstable he was as a person, how angry he was. He got in fights with his NCOs, with his leaders, how he would be confrontational, how even one time he had to be subdued by force to actually stop his outrage and rants. He was also in before the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. I actually got out the same week that Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed, so it's been a while. I was in Afghanistan when he got busted, so this was before Bradley Manning had numerous personality disorders, the anger, the outbursts, the insubordination. He's still deployed. He was in what was known as a critical skills MOS, which means he's in a job where it takes a lot of talent and knowledge and a lot of school to get to. Big background check, everything like that. They just don't grow on trees. So they sent him anyway. Before he was in the Army, Bradley Manning was living as an openly gay man and had actually sought some form treatment for gender identity dysphoria. During Bradley Manning's trial, his gender identity dysphoria, his seeking of a counselor for the topic, his outreach to vloggers online about what they did for it, all of a sudden that became front and center, and that is why I actually had a hard time believing he actually is transgendered. I honestly don't know even now after all the research I've done on it. I think that he definitely had questions. I think that he definitely was wondering if he is or is not trans. But here's the thing about it all. It was not brought up as a way to show maybe he was already communicating with people, trying to set up a back alleyway to another source to spread the information. They did it to embarrass him. One of the problems trans people have had for a very long time is the whole Maury thing. You know, the whole baby has born a man, I'm a chick with a dick, the whole pornography, the whole everything that we have fought against to try to say we are not that. They were using that to harm him. But it was paraded out there as if it was absolutely necessary. And this is one reason why I had a problem with it. When the U.S. wants to go after somebody, the first thing they will do is they will attack their credibility. So you have to first mend your own appearance before you are able to actually deal with the charges levied against you. This is classic. We didn't fight the German people, we fought the Krauts. We didn't fight the Viet Cong, we fought those gooks, those nips, those etc. We dehumanize our enemy and we make them have to deal with their own opinion and appearance first before we actually deal with facts. And I thought this is what they were doing against him. During the trial, they actually brought out a prominent YouTube vlogger named Zinnia. I'm not subscribed to her channel, but nothing against her. I'm just not subscribed to a lot of channels. Just kind of how it is. And because she had held a back and forth conversation through email with him. Now, the prosecution was trying to play it as, oh look, you know, he was already outreaching people, maybe this shows something into his psyche of willing to spill information and whatnot. No, it was there to embarrass him. It was only there to try to go, look at this little chick with a dick, tranny fag over here. It wasn't to do anything right or wrong, it was to hurt him personally, to make him look worse than he already is. And I've seen a few different people online already sitting there and absolutely ridiculing him for it. They're using it as a personal attack against him, and that is why I have a huge problem with the way it was presented, but I had questions. His gender identity dysphoria wasn't brought around because it was necessary or actually pertinent to anything at hand. Him being a transgender person or transsexual or having some sort of questions about his gender has nothing to do with national security. It was a way to attack him, a way to make him look worse than he actually is. So not only does he have the traitor charge against him, but now he's a tranny fag also. And I keep saying that term and I hate it as much as everyone else does. But here's the thing about it all. When he is painted that way, he has to first fight against that.